Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're gonna be looking at Star Wars The Black Series Phase 2 Clone Trooper. This is the newest Phase 2 Clone Trooper body that Hasbro retooled, remade and essentially made it much better and more accurate to the source material. It's the same body that previously we saw on their new Commander Ep374 figure, but this time we have a clean white Phase 2 clone. So as you can see, here is the packaging. It's the windowless type of box. We see a shot of the figure and we have a short bio. We can see that this is number 14 in the Clone Wars line. We have a nice artwork on the side of the box and the same image render in the front. And on the other side we can see the figure with the accessories, a removable helmet and two blasters. And we can see the dimensions are 6 inch or 15.2 centimeters. That's all in terms of the packaging. Now let's take a look at the figure. It's no secret I truly enjoyed reviewing and posing that Commander Ep374 figure, and so I know what I'm getting here. And when you look at the figure like this, just look how natural this looks. The proportions here are great. The figure really looks like there is a human inside of the armor. I love all the changes that Hasbro made for this type of body, and I really hope that they will retool the Phase 1 clone on this same body. They announced it, so I'm sure we'll get that. The proportions here, the silhouette, everything looks perfect. And so now let's take a closer look at the details. We will take off the helmet for now and focus on the clone head that is underneath. Yeah, this does look really good. I would say that this is the head that was unpainted and glued on the inside of all the previous clone troopers that we had. The likeness to Tamir Morrison is there. The sculpt looks good, the paint as well. Eyes are well painted. You can see that there is even a little bit of a difference in shade, like a shadow, like his face is not fully shaved. The hair is well sculpted. You can see that there is texture, sculpted details. It's a shiny finish, but that's fine. This guy doesn't have a shiny face. That is great. And we can compare it right away with our Commander Ep374 here. You can see that it is the same face, it's the same head sculpt, but with a little bit of variety in the paint. You can see from the side, the back of the head. Yeah, it does look really good. And same as what they did with Ep374, this chest armor is a softer plastic and it's an overlay over the base body. They made shoulder pads larger, same as for Ep374. They are connected to the loop on the inside of the butterfly joint so that they are flexible and they go out of the way when you articulate his arms. You know what you are getting here. It's practically all the same as we saw on Ep374, except the hinge of his left hand. Now, both hands are still trigger finger hands, so that's great. While Ep374 had up and down hinge on both hands, this clean clone has an in and out hinge on the left hand. See, that's the difference. So that only means that now Hasbro has both versions of hinges for trigger finger hands, so that's great to see. We can see how the rest of the figure looks, these sculpted parts of the armor, and just for comparison, Ep374 had some of the details painted, of course, while this guy doesn't have any of paint applications. But the console is still here. All of these elbow and knee pads are separate from the sculpt. They are of a softer plastic and you can manipulate them and slide them across the knee or across the elbow, and when you pose the figure you can get a lot more natural looking pose. I should also say that the armor of this guy doesn't look shiny. It's a really matte white tone, and in comparison you can see that the same goes for Ep374, but Ep374 has these blue markings, so that kind of makes him stand out a little more. But yeah, it's the same matte white color of the armor. Let's now take a look at his accessories. As we saw before, he comes with his Phase 2 helmet, and the sculpt is really nice. These printed applications are done well and precise. These blue lines here, the visor, these silver parts here, everything looks really good. And then the inside of the helmet, back of the helmet, and we can compare the two so that you can see that it is is the same sculpt but with different paint applications for Ep374. He also comes with standard 2 rifles. He comes with this longer rifle and the shorter one, and nothing has changed. These are the same molds, the same pieces of plastic that is not painted, and that, as I said, we got many times before with all other clone troopers. Let's now take a look at his articulation. The head is on a ball joint and there is another ball joint at the bottom of the neck, so together they give you a nice range of movement. He can look down this much. He can look up this much. The head can tilt side to side. It can rotate 360. There is a nice butterfly joint. Arms move out this much and they rotate. There is a bicep swivel. Elbows bend this much and swivel. Right hand moves up and down and left hand moves in and out. In the torso there is a cut underneath this overlay. He can tilt side to side and rotate. He can crunch forward this much, move back this much. There is a thigh cut. Legs move out this much. They move forward this much, back this much. Single bend in the knee. And as I said, you can move these pads so that when he kneels, it looks more natural. And the knee swivels. Feet move forward this much, back this much. And there is a great ankle pivot. As always, we get peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Let's now compare our Phase 2 clone trooper with some other figures. Here he is with few Black Series AliExpress custom or bootleg figures. So on the left we have the only option for Phase 2 white clone trooper before Hasbro made the official one, and on the right we have the 501st clone trooper. And as you can see, these two guys look really similar. This is the older type of body that Hasbro used before, and you can see that the shoulder pads are definitely larger on the new one. The helmet is a little bit different in proportions. It's maybe a little bit wider because now we can remove the helmet, but yeah, there are some small changes in the proportions and the articulation on the official figure, and that makes it the ultimate, the best Phase 2 Clone Trooper 6-inch action figure as far as I'm concerned. But you can see that the AliExpress custom goes great with the new Phase 2 Clone Trooper. On the shelf, if you display them like this, no one will probably see the difference, you know? So I'm truly satisfied with all of these. I'm satisfied with AliExpress clones. I still think that they are great, and Hasbro upped their game and improved on the sculpt, improved on the articulation, and gave us a reason to buy this figure over this one. So it's all good, and a great job by Hasbro. And here he is with the Black Series original official Commander Ep374 and the Black Series Captain Rex. Here he is with the Black Series Clone Wars versions of Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Here he is with two Black Series versions of Ahsoka, the Clone Wars Season 7 Ahsoka and the new Padawan Ahsoka that we recently got in the line. And finally, here he is with the Black Series B1 Battle Droid and the Black Series Magna Guard. So all in all, this is a great looking Phase 2 Clone Trooper. It's a continuation on what we got from the Commander Ep374 figure. It's the same body, same improved articulation, but this time it's a clean white Phase 2 Clone Trooper. It is such a pleasure to see that Hasbro listens to the fans, listens to collectors, and upgrades and improves on their sculpts and on their articulation. This is a must-have. This is a great improvement, a great addition to the Black Series line, and yeah, a must-have for any Star Wars Black Series collector, especially if you're a prequel fan, a Clone Wars fan. You have to have this guy in your collection. So now I would really like to hear you guys. What do you think about this figure? What do you think about the improvements that Hasbro made? What do you think about the head sculpt underneath the helmet? Is this something that you'll be getting for your collection? Let me know all of that down in the comments. Also, stay tuned for a posing video for this guy. It will be on the channel soon. And also check out my other videos. I have a lot of them, and I'm sure that you'll find something that's enjoyable for you. So that's all for this video. Thank you all for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next one.